Everybody, I'm here today with Andy Morgan. He's the director of Kidder Creek. They will be our official professional guides for the U 3.0 Adventure Retreat. And Andy's team is going to be taking us out rappelling and also on an amazing, challenging, but exhilarating hike to a mountain lake during the experience of the retreat. So, Andy, thanks for joining me today. I just wanted to give the opportunity to share a little bit of your background and this experience that they'll have. And, rappelling, the intent is that they'll feel afraid, they'll push through their fear and build their confidence. And then also they'll, be outside in nature and be able to connect with nature and themselves and their creator, and all sorts of magic can happen. So I'd love to hear more about the experiences you create.
Yeah, so thanks for this opportunity to take you guys out into the wild. We're looking forward to it. I love rappelling for those reasons that you just said. I think we talk a lot about challenge by choice with our programs, and we want to challenge you to step into your challenge zone or your adventure zone is what we call it, because that's where growth can happen. We don't want to push you to your panic zone, and so we try to create programs and opportunities that are going to help you to grow, help you to reflect, and to challenge yourself. Because when we do those things, we step into our challenge zone, and those things can open up our eyes to other things in life, where we can see, yes, challenge, but I can see the reward as well. So that's what I love about rappelling. It's up out at Lover's Leap. It's got some beautiful views. So when you're not rappelling, you can have some great time to take it all in. Nice. And then our hike, depending on what hike we decide to do, we're still kind of working through some of the details of the trip. But the marbles and the Trinities, the Russians up here where we live are just beautiful. Some of our staff who've been all over California, Yosemite, other places, they're like, wow, I never knew the beauty that existed up here in Northern California. So it'll be a great hike. It'll be great to hike out to a mountain lake, to be outside, to be together, to challenge ourselves, and to grow. So
that's awesome. Andy, when you bring people through a rappelling experience, for example, I can imagine, can you bring people into the harness with us for just a second, where I'm sure you've had plenty of people, kids and adults, who are just like, they're right on the edge of that panic zone, but they're still in their challenge zone. But they then actually do it. And how do they feel when they're done?
Oh man, and I think you said it right, on the edge of the panic zone, because that's what you're doing when you're rappelling, is you're dropping over the edge, right? And I think that's that spot where you're like, oh man, do I trust? Yes. And then you do it and you're like, man, that was awesome. Let me do it again. So it's exhilarating, it's fun, and it is definitely an opportunity to overcome a big, scary challenge.
That's awesome. So I often talk about Do Things Afraid. It's a chapter in my book here, Where to Fly. Yeah. And, I flew fighter jets. People often think like, oh, people like me or whatever, or like you, adventure, we don't have fear. And the reality is we feel the fear and then we turn it into a fuel, and we don't let the fear have power over us. And then we actually choose to do things afraid. And then when you do that, that builds your courage and confidence. It's not the absence of fear. My friend Dan Sullivan, who's an entrepreneurial coach, quotes, fear is having wet pants. I'm paraphrasing. Courage is doing what you need to do with wet pants, right? So going over that edge, I mean, I'm sure even the most experienced rappellers, you're like, hey, you're checking your gear and there's still something in the lizard brain, the fight or flight that kicks in, like, this is potentially dangerous, but you step out, you rappel afraid, right? And then you build your courage. Does that sound like similar?
That's absolutely right. Yeah, you nailed it.
That's awesome. Well, we're excited, Andy. Anything else to share for the group? Apply to the U 3.0 retreat by clicking below. It's free, and I'll be picking 7 people, so don't delay.
Awesome. Yeah, no, we're excited to have you guys out here to take you out into the wild, rappelling and on a great hike, and we'll see you this August.
Awesome. Sounds good, Andy.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.